Yo, welcome to the channel. In this video today we're going to be going over the Stamina Sorcerer for the Flames of Ambition patch. So let's go ahead and dive into it. My maximum health is 25.2, max stamina is 33.7, stamina recovery is 1.7, weapon damage unbuff is 4.6 even, weapon critical is 56.6 unbuff, my physical pen is 4.4. It's a little low, but it works. I have 64 points into stamina. I'm a Khajiit, so some of your stats may not reflect that. I think number-wise, Khajiits are testing at number 1, followed by Dark Elf, and then Orc, but they're all within a 1% of each other, so honestly, if you're just trying to min-max, um, Khajiit is number 1, but the other 2 or 3 are so close that it's really not going to make that much of a difference which class you are out of the 3. The boon I'm running is the Thief, and the food I'm running is Dubious. Now I'm running Dubious because the way I have my bar set up. But if you feel like 25k is just way overkill, which it really is, and you need more recovery, then by all means switch to Lava Foot Soup. Your health will drop to about around 21, almost 22k, and your stam will go up to about 34, but your recovery will go up to around 1.9. So just keep that in mind, but I don't really have any trouble sustaining with this setup. So, sets. First set I'm running is Zovgan's Warband. I love this set on the Sam Sword because it allows me to take off, rearming trap, or add a different set, or another skill. You know, it allows me to have a flex spot. So, or it gives me 2 flex spots over 1, more or less. We're running dual daggers. 1 Nern, 1 Sharpened, 1 with a poison damage enchant, 1 with a absorb stamina enchant. And then on jewelry, we're running Zovgan's All Robust, all with weapon damage. Now what this set does, it gives us weapon critical, physical penetration, and when you deal critical damage, you gain a stack of precision, increasing your weapon critical by 173 for 5 seconds, up to 10 stacks max. At max stacks, you also gain minor force, increase your critical damage done by 10%. This effect can occur once every half second. So, when it comes to crit, it's on par with Advancing Yokita from Hellraw. It is nice to have, but this also gives us minor force, so that way we can drop Barb Trap on our back bar or our front bar and run a different skill there instead. And this doesn't drop, so as long as you're on your front bar, which we should be on our front bar the majority of the time, we're always going to have these 5 stacks. Or, not my bad, 10 stacks. So we should never lose minor force in a fight unless it's just like, well, Frostfall. If you have to drop as a mouse and go up, then you'll have to rebuild the minor force, but it's not that big of a deal. It won't take long to do it all. On our back bar, we're running a Maelstrom Infused Bow with a weapon damage enchant. Now, we get away with running the Maelstrom Bow on the back bar because Warband it's not a static set. If you have it active on your front bar, once you get these stacks up and you switch to your back bar, it will stay there for the 5 seconds. That's it. So, and we should really only be on our back bar for about 3 seconds, 4 at the most. So that gives us plenty of time to get back to our front bar and to keep our stacks going. So, but what this does is increase the damage volley deals by 430 each tick. The spell increases by 143 every time volley ticks up to a maximum 8 times. Now, this is extremely strong, and you get this from normal Maelstrom. You don't necessarily have to go get the perfected, but normal 160 or even under 160, it's a good spot to level up to, and you can just go and you can grind this set, grind it until you get it. It's not really not that hard. It take you like 20-30 minutes depending on your level, and you can just blow through it to get it. It's really nice. Monster that we're running is Stormfist. We're on a Heavy Divine's helmet with max down and a Divine's medium shoulder with max down. Now, if you want to, you can definitely run full 7 medium, and it won't hurt nothing. I just have a heavy helmet, and I've just kind of been running with it. Honestly, there for a minute, I really thought this was medium Divines until I noticed that my Donut was giving me more passage percentage than it should have. So, but yeah, when heavy isn't going to hurt anything. This gives us stam recovery, and when you deal damage, you have a 10% chance to create a Thunder Fist to crush the enemy, dealing 1.8k shock damage every 1 second for 3 seconds. To all enemies within 4 meters, and a final 9.4k physical damage when the fist closes. This effect can occur once every 8 seconds. This comes from Tempest Island. I love Stormfist on the Sam Sword. I don't think I've ever taken it off. There are definitely better monster sets. You can go with one piece crit from Slimecrawl and Grundlewolf. You can go with Veldreth, you can go with Selene or Krags, you can go with any of those sets, but because of the fact in our passives, in Sorcerer's passives, you get, I want to say Stormcalling here, you get an increase in your physical and shock damage, and Stormfist does both. Plus that little extra stam recovery doesn't hurt anything. So I just really like Stormfist on Stam Sword, always have, and that's why I continue to use it. But like I said, if you want to use more of the stronger monsters, it's not the strongest monster set. I think the strongest monster set is Selene's, Veldreth. Those two are probably your strongest for at least target. And the Domahas is really strong as well. So you really can't go wrong with any of those. You really can't go wrong with any other monster set as well. So I just like Stormfist. Now the second 5-piece set that we're running comes from Cyrodiil Vendors. It's called Deadly Strikes. Now you can get this from guild traders if you PvP a lot, or if you have alliance points saved up. You can definitely go and get this. I don't remember which city it comes from. I want to say Bruma off the top of my head, but I definitely could be wrong with that. But basically, this gives you, we're running it all in the body, all divines. Now what this does is it gives us weapon damage, weapon critical, weapon damage, and increase the damage or physical, bleed, poison, and disease damage over time, and channeled abilities also do by 20%. So we have a lot of physical, we have a lot of bleed. So we have a lot of overtime abilities in general, from Endless Hail, Hurricane, Rending Slashes, Rapid Strikes. So it works out and it pairs pretty well. So if you don't have Deadly Strikes for the little damage boost set, Briarheart is nice. Let me see here. Yeah, Briarheart is nice. If you don't have Warband, you can always go with Leviathan. It's not bad either. So just keep those in mind. I like Deadly Strikes and Warband on my Sorcerer. I like Warband on my Sorcerer regardless because of the fact that it gives me that free slot from Barb Trap or Rearmament Trap. So skills now. Our Spain Spammable is Rapid Strikes. You flood an enemy with steel, battering them with 5 consecutive attacks. They each deal 1.7k physical damage. Each hit increases the damage of the subsequent hit by 3%. The final hit deals 300% more damage. Can't believe I got that right on my first try. So this is just your main spammable. There's other spammables that you can use, mostly buffs from the dual wield. You can go with Hidden Blade here. It's not bad either. It gives you major fatality and it fires off. I just like Rapid Strikes, so I just kind of stick with it. So, truth be told. Rending Slashes. Slice an enemy with both weapons to cause deep lacerations, dealing 3k physical damage with each weapon and causing them to bleed for an additional 11.1k bleed damage over 10 seconds. You also reduce their movement speed by 30% for 4 seconds. This is 10 seconds. So, Bound Armaments. Arm yourself with the power of Oblivion for 40 seconds, causing your light and heavy attacks to summon a bound weapon for 10 seconds, up to 4 times. You can reactivate the ability for half cost to arm the weapons, causing them to strike your target for 4.1k physical damage every 0.3 seconds. While slotted, your max damage is increased by 8%, and your light attacks deal 10% more damage. So that second, or I guess third effect, you're really only going to get active on your front bar, because when we switch to our back bar, it falls off. So, but it still counts. So while it's armed and you're on your back bar, let me dismiss my pet real quick, or it will never stop fighting. So when you arm it and you're on your back bar and you light attack, you'll see the daggers float above your head. So even though you're on your back bar, it still counts a light attack towards your ability. And then you just fire it off. So keep that in mind. You don't necessarily have to be, you don't have to have this double barred in order to get procs from this. It kind of works like the Stamina Nightblade Grim Focus ability, to where even if you're on your back bar, it still affects as long as you have it active. So, summon Unstable Clanfear. Command the powers of Oblivion and a Daedric Clanfear to fight at your side. This Clanfear headbutt deals 1.5k physical damage, while his tail spike hits nearby enemies for 1.5 physical damage after 1 second. Once summoned, you can activate the Clanfear's special ability for 4.2 magicka, healing you for 7.4, and the Clanfear for 3.7. So, we have to have this double barred in order to keep him alive if we drop him. If he was only on our front bar and we bar swap, he would go poof. So we want to have him double barred. And then Camouflage Hunter, we're really just using it for the second effect. While Saw It, you gain Major Savagery, increasing your weapon critical rating by 2.6. You also gain Minor Berserk for 5 seconds after you deal critical damage from an enemy's flank, increasing your damage done by 5%. Now, I'm going to go over the issues that I was having trying to do the rotation and stuff here in a bit, but I ended up doing the dungeon. And near some of the bosses, we got an Orange Cranium, and the tank, for whatever reason, had happy feet. He just kept running in circles. So I never really could. I could get behind the boss from time to time, but it was kind of a pain. I basically just had to rotate with him. So this is good if you can stay behind your enemy. But if you're having that trouble, you can drop this and put something else here, like maybe another pet. I've seen dual stam sword pets. Or you could put another damaging ability, whatever it is that you want, like Deadly Cloak or whatever, or Tornado, and run Slime Crawl, and you'll still get the same proc, especially if your healer is not giving you Combat Prayer. Because you get Minor Berserk from Combat Prayer from your healers, or from Slime Crawl. I think those are about those are the two ways you're normally going to get it. But this right here will also give it to you, so that's why I have this double barred, just so that way it doesn't fall off. Finally, Ultimate, Flawless Dawnbreaker. Arm yourself from Meridia's Sacred Sword and dispense a Retribution, dealing 12.3k physical damage to enemies in front of you, and additional 17.4k physical damage over 6 seconds. After activating, your weapon damage is increased by 300 for 20 seconds. Now, the ultimate on the back bar is the ultimate that I usually start fight with. It lasts for 28 seconds, and then after that, I tend to use Flawless Dawnbreaker. This costs 106, this costs 170, so you could probably wait another 10 seconds, and you'll probably have enough again to do this, but I tend to just take the damage right then and there to get the fight over as quickly as possible. So it's up to you on how you want to do the ultimate. I tend to drop this first, and then after that I tend to just use this for the extra damage. Back bar, we're using Endless Hell. Launch a multitude of arrows into the sky to rain down, dealing 1.7k physical damage to enemies in the target area every 1 second for 12 seconds after a 2-second delay. Now, this lasts for 14 seconds, and you could use Arrow Barrage. It will do more damage, but it lasts for 10 seconds, and it throws the rotation off. This lasts for 15 seconds, so it's that 1 second time frame. So we'll use this first, and then in the rotation, we'll be able to restart this, and then use this, and then go back to our front bar. So, Hurricane, manifest yourself as pure air. I don't know what that was. Manifest yourself as pure air. Buffering nearby enemies with wind, dealing 1k physical damage every 1 second for 15 seconds. The wind grows in damage and size, increasing up to 150% more damage. Wow, I had a pain getting that out. Up to 150% more damage and up to 9 meters in size. While in this form, you gain Major Resolve and Minor Expedition, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 5.9 and your movement speed by 15%. This is just a big hurricane. That's it, and it gets stronger as it goes up. So, Critical Surge. Invoke Meridia's name to gain Major Brutality and Sorcerer, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 20% for 33 seconds. While active, dealing critical damage heals you for 3.3k health. This effect can occur once every 1 second. This is kind of why I'm not running Vigor, because I get a heal from my Clan Fear, and I have this. So as long as I have an ability down or I have Hurricane, I'm pretty much always going to be healing. So I'm really not too concerned, especially with Warband plus running the boon. I have plenty of crit to pretty much guarantee me a crit. So, especially with all the AoE that I have going on between Endless Hell and Hurricane, there's no reason that Crit Surge shouldn't be healing me. So, I have plenty of heals, so I don't need Vigor. But if you feel like you still need some heals, by all means, drop Camo Hunter from the back bar and put Vigor there. Or, if you're having trouble sustaining, I will say, let me see, where'd it go? If you have trouble sustaining, use Dark Exchange. Morph it to Dark Deal here. Basically, it's going to bargain with Darkness to restore 8k health and 3.6k stamina instantly, an additional 2.3k stamina over 20 seconds. If you're having trouble sustaining, but I never really have that trouble sustaining, so I really don't use it. So, I have plenty of heals, and my stamina recovery is high enough that I'm not really having any trouble. And then, of course, Camo again. So the L1 and R1 are both just double barred on both front bars. Greater Storm Atro. Summon an Immovable Storm Atro. a mobile storm atro at target location, and its arrival deals 8.4k shock damage and stuns the enemy for 3 seconds. The atro zaps close enemy, dealing 4.2k shock damage every 1 second. An ally near the atro can activate the charged lightning synergy, granting the ally and the atro major berserk, increasing their damage done by 10% for 8 seconds. So, I like having the atro. Just seems to increase your DPS overall more. But if you want an ultimate on your back bar, you could put Dawnbreaker here too, or you could put Ballista. Those would be my only choices, but I'm telling you, go with Greater Storm Atro. It is the best play. So, champion points. Blue Tree. The only ones I really keep on the bar. Treasure Hunter, Master Gatherer, Liquid Efficiency, Plentiful Harvest. That's just because I like to run around and harvest while I wait, so I have these on my bar. But outside of that, I have Gilded Fingers, Fortune's Favor for more gold. This is just kind of there because I had a bunch of extra champion points there to use. But Steadfast Enchantment, your weapon enchants DK 20% slower. This is by 100%, seeing how it's maxed. And then you just come down this way, put 10 here. And then Liquid Efficiency, when you use a potion or poison, you have a 10% chance to not consume it. So this helps out because pots are expensive, especially weapon power pots. So any chance to help not have to use one, this, even if it's just 10% chance, is worth using. Now you can put this on here too if you're doing like trials and things like that. This I think it ends up adding an extra 30 minutes to your food in the end. If you rank it up, you have to put it on your bar. But truthfully, between provisioning, the passive you get in provisioning and everything else, that extra time is, it's not that big of a deal to me. Most progression trials and most things like that usually last for 2 to 3 hours anyways, so it's not going to make a huge difference. So now, Red Tree, I use Boundless Vitality, Ironclad, Rejuvenation, more recovery, more defense, more health. And then basically Tumbling, reduce cost to roll dodge, reduce cost to break free, and then I put 10 here to get Hero's Vigor. And then I use Bloody Renewal, which will give me 1500 stamina back when I kill an enemy. And then I just kind of have increase your movement speed when sprinting. And then it reduces the cost of block by 20%, 20 stamina per stage, and decrease the amount of damage you can block by 2%. So, Blue Tree, Precision, I have all that there. My bad. Excuse me on that. Now, with that, I have Precision here, it's really nice. It gives me that extra 640 critical chance, which works out pretty nicely. And then here I have Offensive Penetration at 1400. I have Battle Mastery for a 60% increase chance to apply martial status effect by 30. And then grant 100 weapon and spell damage to martial attacks, affects physical, poison, disease, and bleed damage. And then I think the last one is Tireless Discipline, which gives me an extra 1000 max stamina. I think that's pretty much it for when it comes to my passives that I don't have to put on my bar. And then when it comes to the abilities that I do use, I use Fighting Finesse, Deadly Aim, Biting Aura, and Untamed Aggression. Now I do change out Untamed Aggression if I'm actually able to stand behind the boss with Backstabber. But if I can't, like I said, with Tank has Happy Feet and I can't stay behind the boss or stay to the flank of the enemy, then this isn't doing me any good. So I just tend to put on either Untamed Aggression or you can put on Thermometer. It's up to you on what you want to do. DPS is still there either way. It's just all about which one you prefer. Thermometer might be better overall. But I don't know. I like the Untamed Aggression. So, and just play how you like. So, that's pretty much it for the CP. Now, rotation-wise, now I ran the dungeon because of the fact when I was trying to DPS test here, originally, I was having trouble. I was lagging up when um, I would try to throw bound ornaments. It didn't start until the mob got around 30% or so, but then there would start to be that 2 or 3 second delay in the stuff going off, and I couldn't use an ability after for a couple seconds. So it kind of screwed up the rotation in general, and it started up again on the second one. It did a little bit better at 32.4, but I know just before this maintenance where it went down for almost the entire day, um, which was on the 30th, I want to say. I wasn't really having any issues with the rotation on this character, and I was hitting 37, anywhere between 38 to 36k. So you can hit higher than this. It's just that for some reason why I've been having a lot of lag issues. So I ran the dungeon to see if it was, you know, what was going on. It seems to just be in my house when I DPS test. So I went to a friend's house, and it did the same there. Then I got annoyed, put the controller down, and then came back and just fired off to do this video. So uh, DPS in general have went down with the new CP because now what was at CP 400 you could hit pretty good. Now you might not be hitting that good where you were at CP 400 until you're about CP 900. They've changed a lot. So DPS in general have went down, but this is still a pretty strong setup. You can still hit 30k plus with it. You shouldn't have any troubles with it. And again, this is just deadly, Warband, and Stormfist. So, well, and the Maelstrom Bow. I will say that. So, let me know if y'all are having fun with this next patch. Let me know if you're enjoying this patch. So, let me know how much I suck in the comment section. Whatever you gotta do. And as always, take care, guys.